Alright everybody, I'm Logan Alec, I'm a CPA. This is my stimulus update for Saturday, April 25th. Look, there are some big updates for Social Security recipients, SSDI recipients, SSI recipients, and Veterans Benefit recipients, and I'll get to those in a few minutes. But with respect to yesterday evening's video about the fake phrase, $1,000 stimulus checks, I stand by every word. Here's all I'm going to say about that. Go to Google and search in quotes, $1,000 stimulus checks. All you'll see in the search results is Meet Kevin stuff, because he made them up. Congress did not approve $1,000 stimulus checks this week. That is fact. And referring to additional funding for the economic injury disaster loan grants as $1,000 stimulus checks is confusing at best and deceptive at worst. Look, we spread facts here, and most of you are very supportive, and thank you for that. But there were those outliers who weren't as supportive of my video yesterday evening. And look, if you want to defend somebody for spreading non-facts, go ahead, unsubscribe from me, subscribe to him. I don't care. A lot of you already told me you would unsubscribe. And guess what? I don't care. It's not about the numbers for me. Alright? My reputation as an accurate source of information far outweighs the minuscule ad revenue I'd get from spreading clickbait. Alright? Now, there is in fact a proposal right now for $1,000 monthly stimulus checks. $2,000 one time and $1,000 per month. Okay? This is the proposed automatic boost to communities ABC Act, proposed by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib of Michigan and Pramila Jayapal of Washington. This bill proposes, and I can't stress the word enough, proposes, okay? Nowhere near passing. This bill proposes that every American get a Boost debit card preloaded with $2,000, which is loaded up with $1,000 every month until 1 year after the end of the coronavirus crisis. And it looks like this thing would cover everyone, okay, including undocumented immigrants, okay? It would include all dependents as well, not only children under the age of 17, but also adult dependents, okay? So it's really covering everyone here. So a family of 5, mom, dad, 3 kids, you're getting $10K right off the bat, $2,000 per person, 5 people in your family, 2,000 times 5 is 10,000 on these Boost debit cards, and $5,000 per month loaded up on your cards each and every month. Funded directly from the Treasury with, get this, no additional debt issued by minting 2 $1 trillion platinum coins. That takes some legislative creativity, let me just say that much. These Democratic Congress people, right, and they're mostly junior ones, by the way, they're farting out these proposed stimulus bills like they just ingested a can of Bush's baked beans. You know what I mean? I'm surprised AOC hasn't proposed like $20,000 a month for every working class American or something insane like that. Alright, big update for Social Security retirement recipients, SSDI recipients, Railroad Retirement Benefit recipients. Some of you who have already received your payment. You're one of the 88 million Americans, according to the IRS, who received theirs. Great. Saw a lot of that in the comments. But the vast majority of recipients of benefits administered through the Social Security Administration have not, okay? Well, the IRS announced that, and I'm reading this word for word, for recipients of Social Security retirement, survivors, or disability insurance benefits, SSDI, and Railroad Retirement Benefits recipients, automatic payments of $1,200 are scheduled to begin arriving next week. No action is needed on their part. This includes people who don't normally file a tax return. They go on to say that this group, as we knew, can no longer use the non-filer's tool to add eligible children if they didn't do so by this past Wednesday's deadline. They will need to file a 2020 tax return in order to receive the $500 for eligible children under the age of 17 if they did not add them through the non-filer's tool. Who's missing from the group of people I just read? Per usual, SSI recipients and Veterans Benefit recipients, okay? And the IRS changed the game for y'all because they originally told you your deadline to add eligible children to the non-filer's tool was this past Wednesday, right? Along with the other groups, Social Security retirement and others. But now they're saying SSI and VA, because presumably you're getting your benefits later than Social Security retirement and others. Remember, we've been saying early May here on the channel. It's vague, I know. It's just based on what Treasury said. Well, now IRS is saying, okay, SSI and VA, you can still add your dependent children under the age of 17 to the non-filers tool, and your new deadline is May 5th. Now, this implies to me that these groups, SSI and VA, some of you may get it earlier, but this implies to me that the majority of you, if you haven't filed a tax return, you're going to have to wait at least a few days, maybe the week after, May 5th, right? But that seems to be mid-May at that point. I don't know. But I'm just extrapolating here, right? Because like I told you in a previous update, Treasury said they set this past Wednesday's deadline on short notice, 48 hours, for Social Security and others to add their qualifying children to the non-filers tool, because according to a Treasury spokeswoman, if they extended that deadline, it would push back stimulus payments to everybody on Social Security, SSDI, etc. So it seems that they needed to set this deadline, and they needed that deadline to pass before payments were processed and started going out for everybody in those groups, okay? Now, I'm thinking and supposing, and the IRS didn't come out and say this, but I'm supposing, reading between the lines here and just using a little common sense, that it will be a similar story for SSI and VA, Veterans Benefits recipients, right? Treasury had to set that deadline by May 5th, right? And they won't be releasing mass stimulus payments to SSI and VA until after that May 5th deadline has passed. Think about it. Deadline for Social Security, SSDI, and others to add eligible children to the non-filers tool was this past Wednesday, April 22nd, okay? And now they're saying that these groups can expect their stimulus next week, the week of April 27th. For SSI and VA, now they're saying the deadline for these two groups to add eligible children to non-filers is Tuesday, May 5th. So wouldn't be surprised if it took them until the next week, the week of May 11th, to actually deliver the payments, okay? But here's the thing, of course, there are far fewer individuals on SSI and Veterans Benefits combined than there are on Social Security Retirement and SSDI, right? So maybe it's not proper to extrapolate from the Social Security Retirement / SSDI timeline. Maybe it's not proper to extrapolate that to the SSI and Veterans Benefits recipients timeline, because there are fewer of them, right? And because, look, maybe this was like a test run, right? IRS figured out some of its issues and it'll go smoother for this group. But who knows, right? That's just all my informed speculation at this point. Okay, all the IRS has said at this point in terms of timeline is that Social Security Retirement, SSDI, okay, you all will receive your stimulus payments next week, right? If you're on direct deposit, okay? And they said May 5th is the deadline for SSI and VA to report their dependent children under the age of 17 to the non-filers tool. All the other stuff I just said that was kind of extrapolating dates, that was all just my informed speculation. We'll have to wait and see what happens, okay? IRS also says this, note, Direct Express account holders, you may use the non-filers tool, but you cannot receive your and your children's payment on your Direct Express account. You may only select a bank account for direct deposit or leave bank information blank and receive the money by mail. But right below this, they say the Treasury Department will make these automatic payments to SSA, SSI, RRB, and VA recipients. Recipients will generally receive the automatic $1,200 payments by direct deposit, direct express debit card, or by paper check, just as they would normally receive their benefits. So, that might be a little confusing, right? They said that SSI and VA won't receive their stimulus via direct express up here, but in the very next paragraph, they said they will. So here's the thing. You can't put direct express information in the non-filers tool. All the IRS meant here in this note to direct express account holders is that if you're in that group of SSI recipients and Veterans Benefits recipients that needs to input their dependent children into the non-filers tool by May 5th, you can't input your direct express information into that tool, as we all have seen and we all know. You can't input a debit card number into that tool. You'll either need to select direct deposit if you have a bank account, or if you don't have a bank account, you just have Direct Express, you'll just leave the bank information blank and receive a paper check, okay? But this paragraph here, right, this other one is for those who don't need to add a qualifying child to the non-filers tool. So if you're just expecting the $1,200, right, you can expect your benefits in the same way you get your monthly benefits, and that includes Direct Express, okay, if you receive your monthly benefits via Direct Express. But if you need to use the non-filers tool to add your qualifying children under the age of 17, there's obviously not an option to input direct express information into the non-filers tool. So for you, for that group, it's either direct deposit or paper check. Okay, I think that's a big enough update. No questions today because honestly, most of the questions that I saw on the video yesterday either pertained to one of the groups that I specifically covered in this video, and I hope that this video answered some of those questions, right? Or they pertain to the Get My Payment tool, particularly for non-filers, right? And I'll say this, I have seen anecdotal reports of the Get My Payment tool having improved for some people, and now giving them better, more specific information about their stimulus. We know the IRS has been updating this tool last night, previous night, they're gonna do so again tonight. So if the Get My Payment tool has been giving you trouble, if you have the time, check again this weekend to see if the IRS's critical updates were able to give you better information than the tool was giving you before. All right, that is all. It is Saturday. It's gonna be hot here, 95 degrees. Power went out for a while yesterday. That kind of sucked. It's not even that hot, right? Anyway, stay cool or stay warm depending on where you live, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.